So all of my friends were there, my friends from high school and college and from DC. And we're going to an Eric Church annual concert. And I think we're in DC, but it's like not the DC that we know. It's like, it looks like Sicily kind of because there's water at the bottom.
What?
And we're at a Hyatt.
What?
And it's like a really lovely Hyatt, but it's like it doesn't look like a normal Hyatt. It's a really really nice Hyatt. And there's different like tiers, but it's not seating like you would think of. It's like terraces with these like nice tables, and like there's some hot tubs on either side of the aisle. And people are hanging out listening to Eric Church. And then all of a sudden we get firebombed by terrorists, and so obviously the music ends and everyone starts fleeing the scene, but the firebombs keep happening. So I leave Baxter, who is a puppy in the dream, with Taylor Swift, who's sitting at our table, because Taylor was like, I'll hold the table for us. And I rush off to like meet up with my friends and try to like see who's like dead and alive. And and so I get to like this first aid kind of training scene, like on the site training for first aid, and a bunch of my friends are there. And I go back for Baxter, and Taylor's gone, but Baxter's still there. So I grab Baxter and I run back, and my dad's there for literally don't know why he's there. But we all try to run because there's another firebomb near like the Red Cross train, like on the site training spot. So we run up this hill to get away from the firebombing, and the hill is like quicksand, and so not everyone makes it. And there's this like mentality that it doesn't matter. It doesn't, like, yeah, it's really sad when like your friends die, but it's kind of like a save yourself anarchist kind of mentality. And so we lose some people in the quicksand, and then we, I guess, get cut to the next scene where we're on a bus, and and still like all my friends are there, and I'm in the back of the bus with my dad again, random, and some other friends. And there's this man, oh, Eric Church is on the bus too, and he's kind of laughing. I think he might be drunk, and he's talking about how he was kind of bragging about how the firebombing took place at his show, and it was his birthday. He does this show for his birthday. So anyway, Webb and Case are at the front, and and there's this guy that comes, like, goes through the bus and hands people their own like set of really sweet, like, hand-to-hand combat knives. and, and he hands me mine, and he asks me if I can handle these knives, and my response was something to the effect of like, who cares if I can handle these knives? Like, whether, like, it's not really your problem. And like, yes, I can handle them. So I'm wearing very tight fitted, but like a lot of clothes, almost like I'm going skiing or something, because my clothes are like really tight, but there's a lot of them. They're very thick, and I have pockets in the front, kind of like overalls. And so I put my knives in a plastic bag and put them in the pocket in the front, which I realize now is probably not the best place to keep like a kind of a large machete. And so I go up to the front of the bus, and Webb and Case and I show off each other's knives. And then I head to the back of the bus, and as we're getting ready to get off, Jane Moss is there, and Katie Brown's there, and again, all my friends from like parts of my life are there. And I've always thought that Jane and Katie are a little bit alike, and so Jane was asking me all about Katie, And and I said, yeah, she's one of my friends from DC. And Jane said, yeah, she's really pretty for a redhead. And Katie turns around and says something like equally bitchy, and it was awesome. And Katie had her red hair in the Queen Amidala pigtails. So they're like long and wrapped very tightly on the sides of her head, and then she has one like plume, if you will, at the top. And so the school bus drops us off, kind of swings into like through the glass front windows, slides into a movie theater. And it happens that because I was in the back of the bus and the bus swung into the movie theater, that I was the first one off and therefore the first in line. I ordered a Diet Coke and a coffee and like maybe another snack or something. And my bill was $62. And so I thought that I was paying for like a lot of people's, when it turns out that was just for mine. And all my friends had, because of this whole like anarchist, like, oh, we're gonna die anyway, so we can just take whatever we want mentality, they jump over the counter and start stealing stuff. And then I think that was the end of it. I didn't ever get a chance to use my knives.
Bummer.